Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on the one and only Tribal Warrior YouTube channel. And of course, I am the Tribal Warrior, and in today's video, as you see by the thumbnail and as you see by the title, we will be taking a look at my 2026 WWE Night of Champions review. Yes people, we will be reviewing all 6 matches that took place, including 2 segments, and we'll also be talking just a tiny bit about NXT Great American Bash and an amazing AEW Forbidden Door at the end of today's video. So, of course, WWE Night of Champions 2026 was one of the strongest premium live events of the year, delivering a great balance of hard-hitting wrestling, entertaining character moments, and major storyline progression. With both King and Queen of the Ring tournaments concluding, championship matches throughout the night, and an emotional undisputed WWE Championship main event, the show consistently felt important. Nearly every match had meaningful consequences heading into SummerSlam, and by the end of Night of Champions and by the end of the night, the WWE had successfully created several new headlines, stories, while rewarding fans with memorable moments. So it was an amazing show. And yeah, with that being said, let's go match by match, segment by segment. And that means we're kicking this review video off with the King of the Ring tournament. So, the Night of Champions kicked off with an amazing, fantastic start, as the main event, Jey Uso, looked to become the 2026 King of the Ring winner. But standing in his way was the unstoppable ruler that is Oba Femi. Jey fought with his usual energy, using his quickness and experience to avoid Oba's power whenever possible. The crowd stayed behind Jey throughout the contest, believing he could somehow overcome the size disadvantage. However, mainly most of the crowd was always going to be behind the ruler, behind Oba Femi, of course, with his amazing Oba chant, and just Oba being Oba, he was just legendary and just so auraful. So, of course, a lot of the IWC, Internet Wrestling Community, including myself, did not want Jey Uso to win this match. I would have hated Jey to win this match, but the thing is, I feel like every single person online just dislikes Jey Uso. But then once it comes to the actual shows, when Jey does his entrance, when he speaks in the mic, everybody's like, yee, everybody loves him. So there's a huge difference between the actual real life crowd in attendance and the IWC. So IWC, during this match, were hitting on Jey. They all wanted Oba to win. Hell, before this match even started, I was saying, oh, I am praying Oba wins, because nobody wants to see Jey win, especially if he beats Oba Femi. So, like I said, the audience and the IWC are two completely different things. So when the show actually begun, they were chanting yeet, they were yeeting, they were, supporting Jey. But of course, it was kind of this babyface versus babyface dynamic, and of course, ultimately, most of the cheering did go to the ruler Oba Femi, but it was in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and honestly, it was an amazing crowd, especially for Oba Femi's entrance. It was amazing, and I think it was one of Oba's best entrances yet, because Saudi really did improve and really did help Oba really get over with his entrance. So, of course, despite Jey's determination, Oba simply proved too powerful. Every comeback was shut down with, crushing strength before Oba delivered with his finishing offense to secure the victory. Winning the King of the Ring tournament felt like another major milestone in Oba's incredible rise, and earning a World Championship match at WrestleMania, SummerSlam, I don't know why I said WrestleMania, instantly established him as one of WWE's biggest stars and the biggest, look forwards moving forward into the future. So of course, if you see bottom right in the screen, Oba Femi will go on to SummerSlam to challenge either for the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, of course, the World Heavyweight Championship is currently held by the OTC Roman Reigns. And of course, the WWE Championship is currently held by the one, the only SAMI ZAYN. So we will talk about that a little bit later. But if you did watch Monday Night Raw, I am recording this after Monday Night Raw. I am recording this on Tuesday, the 30th of June. So July begins tomorrow. But yes, I'm recording this on Tuesday, meaning Raw already took place, so I can officially confirm that Opa might not actually be challenging for a WWE Championship match at SummerSlam, and Roman is definitely not cleared for a match against Oba because he's cleared for somebody else. However, we're not going to talk about that in today's video because we might be talking about that in next week's video. Next week's video, we might talk about how SummerSlam is looking to be amazing because the card already is truly lining up to be spectacular, and we're not even in August yet. We literally we're almost starting July. So yeah, 2026 King of the Ring winner, Oba Femi. So congrats to Oba. We now have King Oba. So, before we got to the Queen of the Ring final, the WWE gave fans a brief comedic break with Danhausen making a surprise appearance. Liv Morgan then interrupted him, accusing him of owing him human monies to the Judgment Day. Danhausen denied everything, and in response, Danhausen dramatically cursed Liv Morgan, prompting Liv to slap him across the face before she walked away. Now, that slap was hella slapful. She really slapped him, and it wasn't like a cheek slap. It was like kind of a just at the head or like the ear, and that would definitely it wasn't like a oh he hit me. It was like a massive slap, and it was quite funny. I felt bad for Danhausen, but this kind of here, how do I say this? This kind of spoiled the match. In response, Danhausen he cursed Morgan, and it was a lighthearted segment that fit Danhausen's unique personality perfectly. And I thought we were going to go straight to the Queen of the Ring final, and when I heard Danhausen's music, I was like, oh, something's about to happen. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, Saudi Arabia, amazing crowd, and they gave Danhausen a huge eruption, massive ovation, as you see there in the bottom right. But of course, this after Liv Morgan lost later in the night, fans jokingly credited the curse for her defeat. So yeah, nothing much, nothing important, but just thought I'd note it. But speaking of Liv Morgan's defeat, let's talk about it. So, the Queen of the Ring final quickly shifted the show back into its serious competition. Liv Morgan entered full of confidence after slapping Danhausen, while Io Sky relied on her speed and creativity to stay one step ahead. The match featured excellent back and forth action, with both women finding opportunities to gain momentum without either competitor dominating for too long. And I like this match because it was quite unpredictable, and I think this entire show kind of circled and found its emotion of unpredictability, and that's what I like. I love wrestling when it's unpredictable, and that is kind of the best form of wrestling. But of course, late in the match, Io Sky appeared to hurt her knee, making her, eventual comeback even more impressive. Fighting through the pain, she connected with a spectacular Spanish fly before landing the over-the-top moonsault, her finishing move, to win the 2026 Queen of the Ring tournament, and I'm pretty sure becoming the 4th ever Women's Queen of the Ring. The victory earned her a Women's World Championship match at SummerSlam, and of course, after the match, she got interviewed by Byron Saxton, and she told Byron and told Liv to her face that she wants to go on to SummerSlam to challenge Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's World Championship at SummerSlam. So that then became our first official match for SummerSlam. Io Sky versus Liv Morgan World Championship match. And of course, I did do a predictions video, and in that predictions video, I did predict Io Sky to win. I did get that prediction correct. Also, I predicted Oba Femi to win. I forgot to mention it, my bad. But yeah, Oba Femi did win. So far, we are 2 for 2. 2 predictions correct. However, we still have 4 matches to go. So, let's go on to our third match. So next, if there was, one match that defined brutality on the card, it was Seth Rollins against Braun Breaker inside a steel cage. So from the opening bell, both men attacked each other without hesitation. And before we get into the actual match, the actual fighting part, the action. Let's just look at that photo there. In the big photo on your screen, the Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, that is a really cold photo. And that was an amazing way to, kick off the match by them two just sitting across each other and staring them down one final time to conclude this rivalry. It was a really amazing way to start. Seth spoke a few words and then he was like, let's go, and they both jumped into it, and like I just mentioned, the match began by attacking each other without hesitation, repeatedly using the cage as a weapon, and then eventually, while refusing to give either man any breathing room, both men just kept going at it, and they just wouldn't stop. The physical punishment, continued to escalate as the match went on and wore on, making every near fall, feel believable. And there was so many near falls throughout this weekend. There were so many near falls from Night of Champions and Forbidden Door. That main event at Forbidden Door was insane. We'll talk about it a bit later. But neither superstar backed down despite, taking incredible punishment. Braun Breaker, he showed tremendous toughness by surviving several of Rollins' biggest attacks. But Rollins eventually found another gear in the closing moments. After connecting with multiple stomps, including one massive final blow from the top rope, as Michael Cole called it, an avalanche stomp, Rollins finally put away Braun Breaker in what many considered one of the best matches of the evening. So, yeah, Seth Rollins won. I didn't think we were going to see that. I predicted Braun Breaker to win because Seth did not need this win whatsoever. Braun needed it more. And I think this here kind of officially signified that the WWE has, I guess, buried Braun Breaker. And I'm not saying his career's over. He's done. He's not going to win a world championship. I'm not saying that. But I'm just trying to say, why couldn't we have Braun Breaker win this? Seth, he's this established star. He's this legend. Of course, he's going to have one big match at SummerSlam. If you watch Monday Night Raw, you would have found that out. Where Braun, I guess he deserves more. He would have benefited so much off of this win. And I predicted him to win, so I got that prediction incorrect. So I'm 2 predictions out of 3 now. Hopefully we can continue that record and get a little bit better. But yeah, Seth Rollins does win. And of course, you see in the bottom right of your screen, Michael Cole, the commentator of the show, who was honestly, I could not hear a single word he said in the show. He kept not stuttering. It was kind of the commentary, it was production's fault. It was all like broken up and it was all like glitchy, and it really kind of annoyed me. I just found it funny half the time. But yeah, Michael Cole, he confirmed that this was the end of the rivalry. So we are officially done with the Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker rivalry. Hell, it was a good rivalry. While it took place, they had so many great matches and amazing chemistry together. So yes, the end of this rivalry, Seth wins, Braun loses. Let's move on to the United States Championship matches. So both sets of the United States Championships were on the line, but first, the US title. So the United States Championship match gave the crowd, a chance to catch its breath, you could say, after the steel cage, while still delivering a competitive contest. Ricky Saints, the challenger, wrestled with urgency, knowing this could be the biggest opportunity of his WWE career, while Trick Williams, the fan favorite and the current US champion, looked completely comfortable as champion. The two produced a solid match, nothing special, but just something solid, built around momentum swings and athletic exchange. As the match entered its closing stretch, outside interferences and distractions, aka from Trick's, you could say, bodyguard, associate, friend, Little Yachty. So distractions, Little Yachty kind of allowed Trick to seize the moment and control the match at exactly the right moment. He capitalized on the opening, delivered his finishing move, the trick shot, and retained the United States Championship. Although it wasn't, the standout match of the night, it successfully continued Trick's reign while also keeping Ricky looking like a future championship contender. And of course, after the match, Ricky Saints was about to attack Trick Williams, but they were able to fight back because Little Yachty came back and he hit him with the kendo stick you see in the bottom right of your screen there, and then he hit the little yachty elbow. It was kind of like the Rock's version, or his version of the Rock's people elbow. They had a name on it. I forget the name. Not important, but yeah. I don't know. I forget the name of it, but yeah, the main story here is that Trick Williams retained the United States Championship, and I did predict that in my predictions video. So that is 3 out of 4 predictions correct. So moving on to our next match, which was the Women's United States Championship. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill at WWE Night of Champions was, in a way, a breakout showcase for Tiffany Stratton, as she, proved she could not only stand toe-to-toe with Jade's powerhouse style, but outsmart and outmaneuver her to retain the US Championship. So, of course, as I mentioned, Tiffany defending against Cargill. So, Stratton leaned into her athletic creativity, sharp timing, and, her big match poise, forcing Jade Cargill into a deep waters than usual and turning the match into a fast, polished, genuinely competitive fight. Jade's strength kept her dangerous throughout, but Tiffany's ability and precision let her control the key moment swings. Ultimately, B-Fab, Michin, Chelsea Green, and Charlotte Flair got involved, and Tiffany Stratton caught Cargill with perfectly timed closing sequence to secure the win. A result that solidified Stratton as a rising, reliable champion, while showcasing Jade remains a top-tier threat. So, of course, that ultimately kind of sets up a match for SummerSlam between Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. Maybe there's no title on the line. Maybe the US title maybe gets back into the picture. Maybe we don't even need the championship on the line. Maybe it can be a number 1 contendership match, or maybe we can just have a great match between Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill, because we've been teasing it for a long time now, and I do think SummerSlam is the chance, because ultimately, as you see in that bottom right picture, Charlotte, she literally hit the championship belt across the face of Cargill, so literally it was Charlotte herself that cost Cargill the match. And also, Chelsea Green came out. I actually love Chelsea so much in this match. She's just so comedic, and she's a really amazing character, and she does deserve more in the WWE. But you see her on the entranceway there with Tiffany after helping her secure and retain the US Championship. But that was all the matches, and now we have one more match, and that match is the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, as you see in front of you, he has done it, and new. So, of course, the main event was exactly what a WWE Championship match should be. Emotional and unpredictable. Cody Rhodes entered determined to continue his reign. Gunther tried to physically overwhelm both competitors, and Sami Zayn once again embraced the underdog role that has made him so popular with the WWE fans. All 3 competitors had moments to shine, with the action consistently shifting between technical wrestling, hard-hitting strikes, and dramatic near falls. After Cody and Gunther wore each other down during the closing stages, Sami found the perfect opportunity to strike. He capitalized on the chaos and scored the roll-up pinfall, and finally, after all these years, captured the undisputed WWE Championship after about 10 years of fighting and determination. The emotional celebration that followed was the perfect ending to the night, giving fans a feel-good moment years in the making, and sending the audience home with one of the WWE's biggest championship victories in recent memory, potentially even since when Cody finished the story at WrestleMania 40. So he has finally done it. Sami Zayn, the underdog in Saudi Arabia, has finally done it. He is WWE champion. It was so unexpected. I had the feeling throughout the match he was going to lose. The entire match I was rooting him on. I was praying for him to win. In my predictions video, I just didn't see it happening. I predicted Cody to retain. But thankfully, thank you Triple H, we got a new WWE champion in Cody Rhodes. Or flip, why am I saying Cody Rhodes? In Sami Zayn. Get that into our heads. Sami Zayn is finally WWE champion after all these years. So congratulations to Sami Zayn. And it was just such an amazing feel-good moment. I was jumping up and down. I'm actually sitting in the exact chair right now that I was watching Night of Champions in. And this exact chair, it's a bit, less wobbly. It's a bit more broken now because I was jumping up and down so much. The screws started to come out of the chairs because this was just such an amazing, memorable moment we will remember for years. Dreams do come true. So congratulations to Sami Zayn. But the show actually wasn't done yet because we had more shenanigans on the post show. So, on the post show, we witnessed a big moment, you could say, where we saw Gunther. He stormed backstage after his loss because this thing literally just happened like 5 minutes after Gunther lost the WWE Championship match. And Gunther, obviously, in Gunther fashion, he was mad. He was furious, and he saw the general manager of SmackDown, Nick Aldis, and lashed out, started screaming at him like, I deserve more opportunities. You shouldn't be letting this happen. Sami Zayn didn't deserve all that crap. You'd understand. Like, just imagine how Gunther would be after he loses a championship match. Furious, like any other superstar. But Gunther, you could say, took it a step too far. And Nick Aldis, I love Nick. Sorry, that was too aggressive. I love Nick Aldis, but I love him because he's not Adam Pearce. And he's not Robert Stone. He's not Ava. He's not Rey Mysterio. He's more aggressive, Adam Pearce, he's amazing too, but I feel like Nick, he's more physical. And it was only a couple of years ago Nick was a wrestler. Before he turned into a GM. But thing is, Nick, he's gonna get physical. He is the general manager. He's trying to keep things in order. He's not gonna stand around getting pushed. Gunther start, getting mad, and I think Gunther laid one finger on his chest, like pointing at his chest, like saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And Nick Aldis was like, "Don't touch me." And it was kind of a significant moment for him because it's not just like another security guard. Because usually you see security guards and other people in charge just get pushed around, and security guards going thrown everywhere, but Nick, he didn't take it. He pushed Gunther and he was like, don't touch me, don't touch me. You see them in that photo there, pushing each other, and there was F-bombs. It was a crazy moment. That was honestly quite insane. So this was on the post show, and I guess that was really it. Just start pushing each other and all that. And then on Monday Night Raw, we got an update, okay? So the WWE have announced that Nick Aldis will be on an administrative leave. So I think that means that he still will get paid, but he has been sent home and cannot appear in the WWE for the next few shows or whatnot. Maybe we might see him on SmackDown this week. I don't know. But also stay offline because there is spoilers for SmackDown out there because it was taped after Raw. That's why Raw started early. But yeah, that's really all I got to say about this. These two just kind of got into a little pushy segment thing. It was fun to see because you don't really see Nick in that position. So yeah, that really there concluded the entire night. So let's actually talk about the proper review and what I scored out of 10 and my official 2026 Night of Champions match of the night. So, my official show ratings and your official show ratings. So, as you know, after every WWE Premium Live event or main big show, I post a little post on social media. I post it on X, formerly known as Twitter. You see it in the top right of your screen. Go follow me on Twitter. I don't really post much on Instagram, but Twitter is the main one I'm always posting on, especially after Premium Live events. If you want to be a part of these videos and if you want to rate on these polls, go follow me at the Tribal W or X. Okay, so after Night of Champions, I posted this. So you can't really see the full tweet, but I did say above that, what did you rate the 2026 edition of the WWE PLE Night of Champions? And of course you see there, hashtag WWE NOC Night of Champions. Okay, so you guys had the option to rate it between 0 to 5 out of 10, 6 to 7 out 6 to 7 out of 10, 6 7, sorry, 8 to 9 out of 10, or 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 meaning PLE of the year, brilliant, nothing wrong with it. Okay, so 14% of you guys rated it a 0 to 5 out of 10. This basically means you didn't really like the show at all. And this was kind of shocking for me. I don't know if people were doing this just to mess with me or just to get me thinking or whatever. But I really don't think we should be rating it a 0 to 5 out of 10. So yeah, a bit shocking. Then another 14% of you guys rated between a 6 and a 7 out of 10. So between 6 and 7. 7, I guess I don't mind, but 6 is still a bit low. Then at the top, a massive 57% of you guys rated it between an 8 and a 9 out of 10. So the majority of you guys rated an 8 out of 9 out of 10. And then another 14% of you guys said 10 out of 10. PLE of the year. So, honestly, I'm probably going to have to go with PLE of the year because this was the best premium live event on WWE we've seen all year. So I will be doing a video at the end of this year in December where I have like all my PLEs of the year. We just done one in 2025, and yeah, we're going to do it again. And this right now is at the top of my list. This is at that PLE of the year standpoint. So yeah, this was really amazing. Overall, I'm going to rate this show a 9.5 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. The only thing that I didn't like properly, the only thing that would have made up that full 5 was the Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints match. I would have preferred it to just be a bit better. I just don't think it was super good. So if that was better, if I did like that, it would have been a 10 out of 10. But the only reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 was that Ricky versus Trick match. But other than that, 9.5 out of 10. This was an amazing show. I haven't rated a show this high in quite a while, so very happy with the show. However, my match of the night, I'm going to have to give it to, of course, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther versus the new WWE champion, SAMI Zayn. That was our main event. And I've also added this match to match of the year contender. This match was so sick. And yeah, we'll talk about this later, actually, in December when we're talking about our matches of the year. But it was so fun. The emotional benefit of it as well was so sick. And like I said, this is what a WWE Championship match should be. Emotional and unpredictable. Unpredictable, the main one. Emotional helps too. But great moment. Nothing to complain about this show. And yeah, that wraps up WWE Night of Champions live in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. However, there were more shows throughout the weekend in San Jose and in Orlando, Florida. So, a day after Night of Champions on Sunday, June 28th, we witnessed an amazing day of wrestling. Of course, the day kicked off with NXT Great American Bash took place. There was about 7 matches on the show. It was brilliant. Nothing to complain much about that. That Shiloh Hill versus Tristan Angels match when they went into the ring, it kind of turned into a horror movie. I didn't know what was happening there. Quite interesting. Saquon Sugars, he was sick. I always loved him. Tony D'Angelo retaining his championship against Naraku. So many other great matches. The Speed Women's match, North American Championship matches. And of course, the main event, Lola Vice defending against Kendall Gray. Ultimately, leaving Kendall Gray as our new NXT Women's Champion. So huge congratulations to Kendall. She really does deserve it. She is an amazing competitor. And I really do truly think she is the future of the WWE. Literally, it was like 2 months ago she was wrestling on WWE Evolve. So she's come so far. But after NXT Great American Bash, we witnessed AEW Forbidden Door, of course, with New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL, Stardom, and Ring of Honor. So, of course, so many promotions in one, that Forbidden Door whole concept. But yeah, AEW, of course, if you watched my past few videos, that is not a thing, videos, I made a video talking about how I watched AEW for the first time and how I loved it. So this is my first full AEW premium live event, or they call it pay-per-views, PPVs, but yeah, this was my first one and it was sick. Nothing to complain about. It was amazing. I really truly did love this. And the main event, holy crap, this main event, match of the year. I've added it to match of the year. Out of all of my match of the years, this was the best one. This was better than Sami's match. This was better than El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. This was better than my other match of the year, where it was Will Davis or Will Ospreay and Mark Davis. This topped them all. Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland in the main event of AEW Forbidden Door in the Own Heart Tournament Final. It was brilliant, and I was staying up all night to watch this. Usually a WWE show lasts 3 hours. This AEW show was so long. It was like 6 hours long, and the crazy part is I went to sleep at about 6 a.m. The show concluded at like 6 a.m. here UK time. So that was insane. But yeah, Will Ospreay ultimately won the match in an amazing moment. These two covered in blood, pure blood, and it was just such a special moment. And Will Ospreay won, so he books his ticket to AEW All In August 30th in Wembley Stadium in London, and that's obviously good for me because London is only like a short drive away from my home. So that obviously means it starts early here in the UK, meaning I will be able to watch this early and not at 6 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah, an amazing weekend. So grateful I got to watch Night of Champions, a Great American Bash, and an amazing Forbidden Door. So, thank you to all the wrestlers throughout the weekend who delivered us with amazing matches and great performances. Really did enjoy it. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys in today's video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I think this is kind of a bit of a long video, but I'm going to shut up now. I'll see you in the next one. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. And until then, remember to always, always stay tribal.